Okay, looking at Nelvana of the Northern Lights. Um, this is an interesting one. This one right here, this cover of a book was released back in the 1940s. Um, most of them were in black and white. However, recently there's been kind of a revival of these old Canadian comics, and someone took this cover, this image, and kind of reworked it, gave her a different cape color with the blue and red instead of the blue and green, kind of the flesh tone instead of the, I don't know, yellow stockings or whatever, and kind of updated the picture of it. So that's essentially what we're trying to do. The best I could find for a black and white of Nelvana was this one, and it looks pretty close. It's not the exact same, but we get the idea. One issue, though, with what's going on here, so let's suppose we want to choose it a little bit more like this color. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention also was by clicking this square, you can pick any color you want. So if we want to put it a little bit closer to the original, let's say we want to go back now and make it more green. We can make it more green. We could do any color of green here. If we wanted this exact green, we could go and get that exact green. If we wanted to do it kind of similar to the newer one, but a little bit more orangey, we can do that. Let's do that. Now, one issue with this one is that if I look here and maybe even here, some of the lines aren't fully connected, which that's going to give us a problem. Wow, lots of the lines are not fully connected. So this one, we would either have to do with our, undo the paint bucket, we would either have to do a lot of it with this paintbrush, or if I'm looking to do this cape, what I will need to do is set up a paintbrush here, and I'm going to use black, and this would be very small, so you may not see, or you may want to even do it once it is in the color that it's going to be, but I need to zoom in and figure out where these breaks are going to occur. Okay, and it may not look the greatest up close, but as soon as you zoom way out, you're not even going to notice that. So let's zoom back in, and as you zoom in, it gets a little bit more pixelated, especially if your photo's not as good. And we could get a smaller one. Maybe I'm going too big right here. Maybe I should be doing the even smaller one. I grabbed one so that we could see what I'm doing. Let's close this off as well. And hopefully that is good enough. And now we can color this cape. So let's see. Let's just pick a red. We'll pick a dark red. And we'll fill this cape, and perfect. Now it's not going outside of the lines. So we may need to go around and just touch up. Maybe what I'll do is, same idea, how there's darkness in the cape here. Maybe I'll take this color and I'll go a couple shades darker down here for this little bit that kind of comes underneath. And then it gives it that underneath feel there, where it should be a little bit darker. So if we want to keep her true to the blue color next, we could do that. We could try a different color. Maybe we want her to wear purple now instead of blue. That might look cool. Let's have Nelvana wearing some purple. And again, that's bleeding all over the place. So we would need to zoom in, and that's why this is the more difficult one. Go back to our black, say OK, and we would need to make sure, like right here, that could be a spot where it was escaping. Make sure that her glove here nothing is escaping. Now I know people usually, when they're tracing, doing an actual comic, a lot of people now have a nice little tablet that shows the picture underneath, and they can just trace right over top of it. If we don't have that, we can do it with the mouse, and that's what we'll practice just in this, because we don't have any of those nice tablets on hand. But we just want to make sure that our area is closed off, and we can kind of go about it this way instead. So we can kind of trace. This all looks pretty good. Maybe right here is an area. And again, although I did a terribly unstraight line there, it's not going to matter too much when we zoom way out. It'll be okay. I'll try and do this quick. I know I didn't do the greatest job there, but now when we take this blue or purple or whatever color we want to do, now when we fill that, there we go. We've got a nice, it's just filling the area. Okay, so this one's a little bit more difficult because there's a lot of those types of areas. If I went right now and took the flesh color, I bet it's going to leak out of this. Yeah, so now we got to do the same thing for the leg. Make sure that we're only getting the area that we want it. Otherwise, we're bleeding all through the whole picture.